Mr. Can You Tell Me Where My Love Is Gone? It's VGC the Video Game Podcast, episode 155, with me, Jordan Midler, Chris Scullion and Andy Robinson. This week, the Pokémon Lego has finally been revealed, and is Call of Duty coming to Switch? But first, how's it going, folks? Chris Scullion, how are you? Is that a little Tekken shirt? Is that a little Uniqlo number?
It is just a little Uniqlo Tekken shirt. The back is exceedingly garish. The King of Iron Fist tournament shit on it. So nice. I always have to wear a jacket when I'm out and about. Lest anyone sees the...
Just in case people start with you. People get on your back. They're like, yeah, who do you prefer? Jen or Hwoarang? The answer is obviously Hwoarang.
Yeah, no.
Nice. Andy, how are you doing this fine Friday in the kingdom?
I'm all right, I think. I'm having the first swig of coffee, so it comes with a free... I don't even know what it's called.
Hash.
It's too early. Matt.
A swig of coffee and a bottle of hash.
My dog was... there's fireworks going off last night, so I didn't get much sleep.
For what possible... I just don't understand it.
People are just letting them off on a random Thursday now.
Yeah. Oh, it's the Chinese. Is it actually Chinese New Year? Because I know that's towards the end of January. Anyway, without any more cultural insensitivity, big week this week. We've got lots of news to chat about. But first, patreon.com/Video Games Chronicle. If you want more podcasts, videos, and ad-free browsing on VGC this weekend, Saturday, you will get VGC's Guide to Japan. Myself, Andy, Chris, and the one and only Pete Donaldson, you may know him, sat down to record an episode where the three of them spilled their guts about the great country of Japan, the great region of all of Asia. We gave you a full guide to every single country in Asia, so look forward to that. Look forward to Saturday. That'll be going up in your podcast feeds and on Patreon as a video. Enjoy that, Chris. Get to speak about your homeland finally.
Yeah, it was nice. I like to speak about every country in Asia, mostly Japan. But, I mean, the bit about Lebanon, I thought was particularly...
Your 4-hour diatribe about regional currencies in China, including renminbi, was quite a lot that I had to edit out, but the rest of it was pretty good. So
it was nice to be chat. Nice to kind of just... shoot the shizzle, as they say, in Japan.
Shoot the shiitake, you could have went with. The podcast listeners could probably collate a bonus guide to Japan via every time we've mentioned Japan across our various audio products, but this is a good contained one that we hope will serve you in good stead for a long time. Hopefully there's not much outdated information that we put in there in like 5 minutes time. It'll all get changed around. But yes, check that out on patreon.com/Video Games Chronicle on Saturday. This is Friday. You know the drill. Let's get into it because we've got a lot of news to talk about. Story number one, the first Lego Pokemon sets have been revealed, including a $650 Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur statue. Now pause right there. Did either of you see the boy on the telly it was like some kind of MSNBC, it was a very business focused news show talking about this, and he was clearly reading it from a teleprompter, and he clearly didn't know what it was, and he went, Lego have announced their first Pokemon collaboration, including Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur. And I was like, mate, first of all, you sound about 30, so how do you not know? How culturally were you not... You're an American 30-year-old, how did you not culturally absorb Pokemon at the time? But regardless, these new sets are going to launch on February 27th for Pokemon's anniversary. They're up for pre-order. I saw a lot of people saying the pre-orders have sold out. Lego pre-orders sell out a lot, but they always have stock in shops on the day it comes out, and they are printed for at least 3 years, so don't worry about getting one of these if you're pure keen, because it will be very easy to do. The first sets are Pikachu and Pokeball, which will cost $200, 180 quid, and feature 2,050 pieces. It's a wee statue of Pikachu popping out a Pokeball, and it has 25 on the base, a nod to the Pokedex number. The next set, and personally the one that I think looks the best, EV will cost $60, £55, and include 567 pieces. And the big set that's been rumoured for a long time is Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise, which will cost $650 or £580 and include 6,838 pieces. Before we get into the rest of the stuff that was revealed, Chris, my general thoughts are, Not surprised by the price based on the other Lego sets of this size. It's still a ridiculous amount of money, and they should have sold the 3 of them separately to combine so you could buy them piecemeal.
That's the thing. That's the thing I don't understand, is that surely you sell each of them for 200 and it still stings a bit, but at least it's manageable. And then each of them comes with a wee part of a base that when you have all 3 of them together, the base is complete, and then you can join them together. Otherwise, that's a hell of a lot of money to fork out. It makes it the 7th most expensive Lego set of all time in its history. That's a hell of a first kind of foot forward.
It puts it up there with like your Titanics, your Millennium Falcons, stuff like that. Like I have the big crazy Millennium Falcon that was £800, but I only got it because Zavi did a sale where it was like 590, and I was like, well, circus of value. I've just had my BBC payoff money, so I'll get it then. But that's the only circumstances in which I can see this. Because this is like console money. This is like if the PS6 was announced and it was like, oh, the 2 terabyte models is 580 quid, you'd be like, oh, that's a stinger, but I need to get it, but not for a Lego set.
Also, the concern is obviously that's the first starters, the first evolutions of the first starters. Are they going to do this with gold and silver ones? Are they going to do this every year?
I just don't think anyone would care. I just don't. You spend your big price point on these because they're the most iconic Pokemon apart from Pikachu, obviously. And I think that future sets, and obviously there's a lot more to come, will be much more in the EV price range of like, here is Gengar versus Toxicroak, can you get like 2 wee models and they can battle each other kind of thing. I think they will, because ultimately Pokemon's quite good at doing stuff for adults but still being a kid focused brand, so I think a lot of the Lego will be very kid focused. It's telling that the gift with purchase, the Kanto regional badge collection, is only something that someone that is over 30 would give a fuck about. So also with the gift with purchase, that you will still get that in the shop if you go the day it comes out and buy it. So after that, it'll be obviously hard to get, but that's always the way we gift with purchases. Lego Insider's got a small replica of the Pokemon Center, which is a weird one because they're not doing any minifigures. But Andy, what are your thoughts on this? Because if it was me, I would have made Charizard a Charizard with a base 300, and then you can buy Venusaur and Blastoise separately for 100 each, and they come with bits to add to the base, so they all work together.
I can't say I'm a Lego expert, to be honest. So my first question would be, have the prices gone up? Like, is this a tariff thing?
They've not really gone up.
I mean, what's the last big adult set they brought out, and was it more expensive than usual? Because if this was like a gaming thing, that's what you'd be saying, right? You'd be saying, sure, it's something to do with tariffs. And I mean, physical goods these days are expensive.
The price, people generally go off price per piece with Lego, which isn't helpful because the pieces are of various sizes. But like the last big set, which was the Death Star, which was 900 quid, is a lot, obviously, but it was kind of what people expected. The Millennium Falcon that everyone that at the time was the biggest set ever, is still available, and it's 735 quid.
Okay, well, is this just an expectation thing then?
Yeah.
So this is like actually significantly less expensive than Star Wars. Pokemon is allegedly a much bigger media franchise than Star Wars.
Yeah, and also the set is massive. Like if you look at
these games they're referencing are 30 years old.
Yeah. I'm not surprised by the price. It's a stinger. That's my only problem with it, and it could have been done piecemeal. But if you showed me that Lego set and told me to guess how much it would be, I would immediately go 500 quid. So it being 580 quid isn't that shocking to me.
I think probably the bigger issue that I'm seeing is not so much that that's 650 quid, and more that there are no like kid sets. The cheapest, there's like a 60, 70 quid Eevee, right? And then Pikachu's 150, 60 quid.
Yeah. The kid sets are to come. The listings have been made. There is a lot of kid sets. These are just coming out for the anniversary. By the end of the year, there's probably going to be like 30 Pokemon Lego sets on shelves of all sizes. So
I hope they don't use that stupid brick that they've announced that everyone seems to hate.
The smart brick,
It's smart brick, that worries me. But
I'd say dollars to donuts, you'll get one. And if if they were mandated to do one, you do a Pikachu set that can talk and that has that does Pikachu in various voices, and that's it. That's fine, because you have a high end Pikachu here that seems to not have it. There's probably going to be a Pikachu versus Guruki set, like this is the small versions of the guys, but probably this will be a set with absolutely no minifigures. What do you think about that, Chris? Because I sort of expected this to happen, especially because Ash isn't a going concern anymore, and he is the minifigure you would do. Obviously, your character in the game is meant to be a self-insert, so
I like a wee minifigure. That kind of wraps up the package for me.
Me too.
That's why, like today, right before we recorded this, they leaked the Zelda set. It's apparently coming on the 1st of March, so like a few days after, 2 days after this one, these Lego ones. And I'm more excited about that one because it's like 110 or something like that, 130. It's like affordable. It's got wee Link and Zelda and Ganondorf minifigures. It looks like they're doing the same thing that you could do with the Deku Tree one, where you can have 2 different versions of it.
Oh, nice!
But it looks like less of a dilemma because the Deku Tree one, I was genuinely like, do I want the Ocarina one or do I want the Breath of the Wild one? And obviously, the correct answer is Ocarina.
The Breath of the Wild.
But with this one, like the Ganon fight looks much better than the Ganondorf fight, and I'm like, well, clearly that's the one you want to do. But yeah, I'm more excited about that one. I like a wee minifigure because to me that's everyone's doing these bricks nowadays. Like Mega Bloks does it, and there's a million knockoffs that you can get from AliExpress, and people making their own sets. It's the minifigures that are unique to Lego, I think, and that's what I think's the iconic part of it. So
I'm quite surprised actually that the Pikachu and Pokeball doesn't come with a wee stand with an Ash minifigure. I feel like that would be a really easy. And they've shown previously that they will do a single minifigure that isn't tied to a big long set of minifigures for something like that.
Do you think at some point they do another red and blue and green themed version where you get the gym leaders as minifigures?
Potentially. I could maybe see that happening, but I think they would maybe only do that if it was tied to a re-release of a Kanto game, though, because the most recent Kanto game is Let's Go, and that's 10 years old at this point. So they're in a weird kind of spot with it. But yeah, there's lots more to come from the Pokemon Lego sets of all price points.
It's also, you've got to imagine these blind bags are going to start coming as well, because even with Lego Mario, it got about 10 years. It was about 10 years from the first. They did like 6 series of them.
Yeah.
But even the first series was quite tenuous. It's all Mario enemies. And by like series 3 or 4, I'm like, I don't recognize half of these. Like, these are all from like one Mario game, like, and they appeared in one level, and they kept churning them out. You got to imagine with like a Pokemon, they'll do series upon series of like mini builds of some of the lesser kind of.
So that's what I was confused about, because I would have thought the minifigure, if they're not going to do minifigures, the blind bags would have to be something else. And I originally thought that's how they would do gym badges, because that's like something of a size that you could put into a blind bag. But maybe they'll do like little Pokeballs you can build, because obviously there's like 30 different variants of Pokeballs. But I don't think they would do actual Pokemon, because that's not enough pieces to make like a good looking to scale, unless they do a very small scale wherever they do like, here's the chibi scale of Charmander, Bulbasaur and Squirtle. But either way, it'll be all getting soaked up through the Poke Pipe. I don't think I'm going to brave the biggie, although there is a part of me that wants to go and camp at Buchanan Galleries the day before this comes out and get the big one so I can get the gym badges, but I know I'm falling right into their trap. But more on this as we get it. Next story. Call of Duty on Switch 2 could be imminent, according to a data miner. This is according to ex-user Reality, who data mined a recent Call of Duty update and claimed to have found new code referencing Nintendo platforms. Under the platform family section, we're all in a platform family, joining existing entries like Sony, Steam, Microsoft, and Ubisoft Connect. For context, some Activision games were added to Ubisoft Premium Plus last month. A reported new entry called Nintendo. You may have heard of them. It's on my t-shirt. They have a shop in San Francisco. I hear it's magical. It also adds a new entry to the platform family to account type section, adding NA Nintendo account to existing entries like XBL, PSN, and Steam. Obviously, we've heard for some time now that Microsoft wants to put Call of Duty on Nintendo platforms. Andy, how do you think this manifests? Because obviously it would have to be a compromised version of the game, just purely performance-wise and not being 100 gigs. But do you think they just stick the PS4 version of Warzone on Switch 2 and be quite happy with that?
I think everyone would be quite happy with that, right? It's, I mean, we're not really seeing the true extent of what third parties can do on Switch 2 yet. I don't think. But what we have seen has been pretty impressive. Like especially the Ubisoft stuff, Assassin's Creed and Star Wars Outlaws. And I think they did the Assassin's Creed team did a Digital Foundry interview just this week, and they were kind of suggesting that there's more to come. Like they don't think they've kind of hit the ceiling by any measure. So yeah, I reckon I don't see any reason they can't get a pretty impressive Call of Duty running on this thing. Warzone, I guess, makes sense.
Yeah, because I imagine they probably, Chris, I imagine they probably don't go straight in and put whatever the current one is, Black Ops 7 or whatever. Like I feel like it's a hefty ask to put like a 80 quid Call of Duty campaign and multiplayer suite, obviously on PS.
I mean, and you must remember, Chris. I'd quite like to hear you talk about is my thoughts about this is how well is it actually going to do on a Nintendo platform? Because I think they released Apex Legends, didn't they? And Overwatch, and I don't think,
Overwatch is on Switch. Yeah,
I mean Overwatch was both those games are massively compromised on original Switch, so there's that. But can you remember how the original, like the last Call of Duty games, kind of did on Wii? And
it's weird. I think they did okay, but from a different audience, because back then multiplayer was big, but so was the single player campaign. So I think the single player campaign fans, a lot of them bought the Wii version because the Wii remote pointer was actually a fantastic way of playing Call of Duty. So that's kind of why I'm excited about it coming to Switch 2, because using the motion controls could actually be really good. But yeah, it did okay. I think it was the equivalent of like what EAFC is like on Switch just now, where it's like it sells enough to be worth doing. It's not like it sells 2 copies. There is an audience for it. It's just a different audience from the hardcore. I think as long as they aim for like 1080p and 60 frames a second and use upscaling to kind of get it a 4K output, I think that'll be enough for most people on Switch 2. Like, bear in mind the compromises. The hardcore of the hardcore are obviously still going to play it on Xbox or PlayStation or PC. So it's a weird one, because then it's like, how all in do you go on the multiplayer side of things? Warzone might be the best way to go to start, because you're asking for less of an investment from the player to start that and at least see that it works well. And once enough people have tried it on Switch 2 and said, actually, this runs really well, then you can release the kind of full price games and people are already kind of bought in at that point, I would imagine.
That's exactly what I would do. Get Warzone out now, and then maybe by the time it's November and the next one's coming out, you go, oh, it's also on Switch 2, and it's a different beast on Switch 2, obviously. But as you say, no one's going to play the Switch 2 version and be like, oh, I can't compete in the Call of Duty League on this Switch 2 version. Like, it's a nice. If they're going to do that though, these single players in the Call of Duty games need to get better, because they've been fucking terrible recently. So if this is a catalyst for them to be actually playable, then
but they also need to make sure cross plays in there, because that's one of the big problems with EAFC is a lot of people buy it on Switch 2, but Ultimate Team is a ghost town because there's no cross play. So if you can't play with Xbox and PlayStation players, you're stuck with other Switch 2 players, and hardly anyone plays that game online. So if you want to do proper Call of Duty on Switch 2, you need to find a way to be able to, even if your frame rate's not as good, that'll be the case on PC as well. You need to find a way to be able to play against every other system, because otherwise it's dead on arrival. Maybe
they would have to silo it, so it's like, you can play with other consoles, but you're not playing with PCs, because you just get your head kicked in repeatedly. So, but yeah, I think it'll be interesting. I know that in this story there was some speculation about original Switch. I just don't think it would be.
No.
It would be so compromised to the point of parody that it's probably not worth doing. I know that people the Switch, obviously the original Switch has still got a lot of active users, but are they the type of people that would even bother playing Call of Duty? They're probably still playing the goddamn Animal Crossing. Speaking of, I'm going to jump to that now before we go to the break, because I'm interested in hearing about it. The new Animal Crossing stuff is out. Version 3.0.0 is a free update, which is separate from the Switch 2 edition. Chris, what is in the Switch 2 edition? What's in the version 3 update, and how is it?
So the Switch 2 update is about £4.20, $4.20 blaze it, I believe they say. It's the obviously the main stuff. There's a resolution boost. It looks sharper. You see it better in the text. The dialogue boxes. If you love your dialogue boxes, you're in hog's heaven. It's still capped at 30 frames a second, which is disappointing. Switch 2 doesn't have a lot more extra stuff. You can play 12-player online now if everyone's using the Switch 2. There's like a megaphone that you can use to shout your villager's name.
Was there not some kind of Nintendo stuff in there? Did they not add like Zelda or Lego stuff? But
that's more the free updates. So Switch 2's got the 12-player, the improved resolution, the megaphone, so you can use the Switch microphone to shout at people, their villagers, and they'll just arrive instead of you having to try and find them. Hey, dog! But other than that, all the big stuff is in the free update. Really.
Oh, that's good.
The kind of version 3.0. So if you've an original Switch, or you can't justify the £4.20 to fork out for the Switch 2 version, you're still going to get most of the good stuff, like the hotel, which is the big thing. Is in all versions of it. They've added a hotel to the pier where you decorate people's rooms, and then you get rewarded with points, which can then be spent in the shop on like stuff, and eventually you'll be able to unlock Nintendo consoles and stuff.
I'm shocked. Is it a compatibility issue? Is that why it's not exclusive to the Switch 2 edition? Because that seems like, because when they've been adding their old stuff to Switch 2, they've been doing content drops. Like Kirby's got a content drop, and Mario Party does. This doesn't seem to count.
I don't know if it's a compatible. I think it's just a not wanting to piss off a massive audience issue. It's like, I mean, it's £4, and I think if it had been like a £20 upgrade, then you would expect a lot more. You would expect some of that content to be in the Switch 2 version. I think it's a good compromise that for your £4 you're getting. It looks a wee bit nicer, and you're getting a few wee bits and pieces, but everyone gets the main stuff, which I think is fair. So the free update is the one that's got all the Lego furniture now, and before you had to link a Nintendo account to get all the Mario furniture, but now you can just get that. You can just claim that. You can scan Zelda and Splatoon amiibo to get new villagers that are based on those games, and they bring their own Zelda and Splatoon amiibo with them and stuff like that. Furniture. So yeah, there's a decent.
They bring their own amiibo, and then they bring their own amiibo, and it's just
the whole amiibos all the way down.
Marushka dolls. What's the name of those dolls?
The Russian ones.
The Russian dolls. That's what they're called. I
don't want to risk it.
I've met some Russian dolls in my time.
Can't believe it.
Andy, the original game went triple platinum in your house. How is the younger set reacting to the new update?
Mate, you've never seen anything like it. I've got 3 Switch 2s on the go with 3 Animal Crossings. Like we're like game chatting. You have to go around and make sure everyone's mics are turned off so there's no feedback. Like one of them gave up playing halfway through, so they where has anyone got any iron nuggets? I need iron nuggets.
Oh, is it easy enough to get back into when you've not been there for a while, or is it a bit of a slog?
Yeah, I mean the thing that's mind blowing to me and probably a lot of other people, right, is you boot it back up and you go like, fuck me, I had a lot of time in the pandemic. Like my island is like meticulous.
It's a game that just it never grabbed me. When everyone was playing Animal Crossing, I was playing FIFA 20, I think, grinding out Team of the, because that
probably because you were 20, right?
In 2020, I was 25.
So not far off.
Yeah. Chris, you'll remember because football stopped, they did Team of the Season so far, and it was out really early. So I played that. That is the best ultimate team I've ever had. That was the ultimate team. I'd like Team of the Season, Sergio Aguero, greatest player I've ever used in FIFA, and that was like that was my time sink. I also played, obviously, that was the year of Warzone, so those were my two like mental games that I played a lot of. Chris, you said that when it came out, you had to like do like you had to be a certain tier of island. Like how does that work?
Yeah, it's funny because I thought I'd put a lot of time into it when it first came out, and then
your island was shit, mate. It's a dump.
When it came back, I'm like, "Where's the hotel?" The hotel wasn't there for me. I'm like, "What's going on here?" It turns out your island has to be rated 3 stars or above, which means you have to have a certain number of villagers and a certain amount of flowers out and furniture outside and all that. I think that might be something to do with it because I spent most of my time decorating the inside of the house, and apparently that doesn't count.
It's a wasteland outside.
Yeah, you've got to decorate. It's the outside is like Mad Max. But yes, so apparently you've got to actually decorate the village as well. So I'm going to work my way through that to get the hotel so that I can unlock the consoles. So I can then moan about the fact that you need a Nintendo account anyway to play the consoles, which seems like a scandal that's been fabricated for no real reason.
That wouldn't be like the internet. Before we go to the break, Chris, I've got a game for you. Yakuza Kiwami 3 continues the series' retro tradition of including 12 Game Gear games. I want a yay or a nay on these 12 GameCube. I wish it was GameCube. Game Gear games. Are you ready?
Yes.
Columns.
Nay.
Fantasy Zone Gear.
Yay.
Galaga 91.
Yay.
The GG Shinobi.
Yay.
G-Lock.
Yay.
Mappy.
Yay. I've got a soft spot for Mappy.
Pac-Man.
Yay.
Puyo Puyo.
Nay.
Sonic Chaos.
Yay.
Sonic Drift.
Nay.
Streets of Rage.
Yay.
Woody Pop.
Yay.
Nice.
Only a couple of stinkers in there.
Yeah.
I don't really like the puzzle games that Sega made, but
do you bother with this shit when you play the Yakuza games? Because I always go in, I play Virtua Fighter, and I'm like, this is pretty cool. They should make a new Virtua Fighter, and then I continue the game. Do you sit and absolutely rinse them or what?
I do if there are like kind of achievements or qualifications, because I can play those games whenever I want anyway. So there's no real need for me to do it unless there are new kind of reasons to do it. So it's nice. It's nice if it's a case of like, oh, when you're playing Game Gear Pac-Man, if you get 200,000 points, then this will happen. Then I'll do it for that. If there's no real reason to it, I'll do it for 5 minutes and then move on.
You can't see shite go by you when there's a random wee trophy or achievement.
Well, especially a game like Yakuza though, where like meticulously
no trophies for getting 3 stars in Animal Crossing, was there?
I know. That's why.
If only Nintendo had
this off to go and play Pepsi Man.
That's why I sacked it off immediately. But the Yakuza series are always break down all these mini games and give you ratings and everything for everything, which is why I'm still on Yakuza 0 because of batting cages and everything.
I really want to play Yakuza. I really, really do. Like maybe
you'd love it. It's mental. You have.
That's what I mean. Do you know how many times? Because obviously I researched for ages. Which one should I start on? I'm talking probably. It's got to be since the pandemic because I played. What was one for Infinite Wealth? It was
Like a Dragon.
Yakuza, like a dragon, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just called Like a Dragon. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So because I started that one, I've played a lot of them for like the first 2 hours, and then like forgot about it, and then done it again. Like Zero, which I think is the one that everyone tells me to play. I'm pretty sure I've played the first 2 hours of that game 3 times. Like, and I'll go back because if I go back now, I'll do it again. Like I'm not going to go from the 2 hours. I'm going to start again, right?
Yeah, I'm on my 3rd attempt at Zero, and I'm determined to do it this time because I played through like 4 or 5 hours on Xbox. Then when I got it on Steam, on the Steam Deck, I played through 4 or 5 hours of it on that, and I've got it on Switch too. So I've played through 4 or 5 hours.
I'm also playing it on Switch.
I'm determined. It's really good on Switch too. It's really good. So I'm determined to actually get through it this time, especially now that Kiwami and Kiwami 2 and Kiwami 3 are coming. 1 and 2 are on Switch 2 already. 3's out next month. There's now like a run I can go on Switch 2 where I can go through at least 4 of them.
But I've learned something about myself. They'll probably talk about Kiwami 4. Yeah, carry on.
Go on.
I've learned something about myself this week when I've spent about 10 hours playing Picross, however you want to pronounce it. I think I'm just into puzzle games now.
Yeah,
Picross is puzzle
is the
best.
Granddads, uncles.
Picross deserves so much more love than it gets. Picross should be up there with Tetris.
Why?
Here's the thing that this is a proper first world problem, right? I got what one am I going to get? Like, so I feel like getting back into a Picross game, right? And the latest one is like the Capcom. It's like Capcom, SNK, and there's another one. And I thought I'll go for the Capcom one because it's fun. So the hilarious thing, like you could make a YouTube donkey video about the stupid pixel art you reveal in the Picross games, right? It's like, oh, it's a water pump and it's a chair leg, and they're all like so stupid. So obviously it's nice to get some a classic sprite art as your reward, as opposed to like carpet. But carpet. First world problem. The music's like I do like love me some classic NES music. But that is not what you want when you're sat playing a puzzle game for hours and hours and hours and hours. I genuinely went and bought the latest normal one and moved to that because the music was doing my nut in. But then I played that one for a couple of hours and I was a bit bored of like unlocking chair legs and door handles, and so I went back to Capcom. So I'm literally jumping between the two. When the Mega Man music becomes too irritating, I kind of have a little bit of a cleanse.
Have you at least done Have you at least gone into the settings and put the music on shuffle?
Yeah, but you can do that on Capcom. You can't do it on the normal one, which is irritating.
All right. It took me far too long to realise you could do that in Capcom, so I was stuck with the same one tune for like the first 5 hours. I'm like, this is doing my head in. If anyone's curious about Picross and never tried it, 2 of them are on Switch Online. The Super Famicom one, Mario Super Picross, is on the SNES thing, and the Game Boy Mario's Picross is on that as well. So they're kind of free.
I just think you need the resolution for that game.
Yeah. The SNES one's still one of my favorite. The best one of all is still Picross DS, because it had like more character.
DS
like
every 10 great stages. Puzzle game. Do you remember Tetris DS? Was it Tetris DS, wasn't it?
Tetris DS.
I remember playing that for an entire flight to E3.
There was one, I always forget the name of it, but there was Nintendo did a bunch of those, almost like the Game Boy Advance, the kind of minimalist ones that Q Games did. They did another series like that on DES, and it was, one of them was pixels would drop down, and it was NES sprite art would drop down, and you had to kind of draw boxes around it to free it, and it would fill up the sprite at the bottom. I can't remember the name of it. That is one of my favourite. I have to look it up. One of my favourite puzzle games ever.
I wish they would put Pokemon Picross back out, because it's stuck on the 3DS at the moment, sadly.
I can't remember half of our interview with them, because we've got to be some of the only press, definitely Western press, maybe even worldwide, to interview Jupiter about Picross, right, Chris? When you and I did it a couple of years ago. So I was trying to think what they were saying, because we were asking them about that, weren't we? Like all the missing games, and they were they were hinting heavily. Do you remember that they were going to go towards not a live service model, but like they would, like, instead of releasing new games every year, that they might like expand a bigger game.
Well, they ended up kind of half doing that. They did. They released a thing that you could download all the previous 3DS ones, I think.
Yeah, it's called E Plus, wasn't it, or something like that?
Yeah, because they've released like 10 of them on 3DS, and now they just put them all on Switches.
It does feel like if I got on the blower to Jupiter, they'd make a VGC one. Like, all you got to do is phone them up. It does feel like all you got to do is phone them up, and they don't say no. Like, they probably got a rule in the company charter: don't say no.
I fear that
all right, it's Epstein Island calling here. Could you yeah.
Gladly.
Of course,
I fear that my level in Picross would maybe be the easiest one, because you would just colour in my mustache and my soul patch, and then the rest is just blank white skin, so there was nothing else to do there. I have an exceedingly long flight in front of me, and I have my Nintendo Switch 2.
Where are you going, Jordan?
Kuala Lumpur. It's the Division 2 World Championships, so I thought I'd head over there and watch it. I'll tell you where I'm going in about 24 hours time. I have my Switch 2 loaded up with 2 embargoed games that one of them I'm currently playing and really into, and the other one I really want to play. I know, dollars to donuts, if I'm lying, I'm dying. Phone out, Balatro the whole way. I know for a fact that's what's going to happen. Because there's something
that's what's going to happen. Yeah.
It's the perfect game to be like, oh, I had to take 10 minutes to just like chill, and like, oh, I'm talking to the waitress. I'm saying, can I get 3 vodka sodas, please? Or what you want for your dinner, chicken or pasta? You can just go straight back into it. Whereas when I've got my Switch 2, because it's a really nice bit of gear, I always feel like I have to like really focus on it, make sure the screen is like there's no dust on it, my hands are like all perfect, get really into the zone, which isn't conducive to flights. And also because I'm built like Jeff Capes, the arm movement for the Switch 2 very limited on in the economy seats and VGC's airline British Airways. Unless I get a bump up, if I get a bump up to business, let me tell you, it was Switch 2 all the way. But that's only happened twice so far. So I think it'll be Balatro. Football Manager on the phone, incredible for a flight. That's like absolute crack cocaine on a flight. Chris, have you found these games?
Art style Pictobits. Art style in America, and I believe in the UK it was called Art Style Pico Picked. Sadly, DSi were so dead now, but
no way to get it. Absolutely no way to get it.
There's absolutely no way at all you can ever possibly get a hold of these games ever again legally. But yeah, to have a look at it online. It's Art Style Pico Picked. It's a fantastic wee puzzle game.
Question: while I'm in Kuala Lumpur, Switch 2 games region free? Much cheaper in Kuala Lumpur. Am I worth grabbing? Okay.
Also, if you have a Kuala Lumpur account on your Switch too, you can buy Kuala Lumpur eShop cards while you're there.
Oh, okay.
Redeem them, and then when you buy them, you can then play them on your UK account, and it'll translate to English as long as that game has an English version. When you buy the Kuala Lumpur version on that eShop, you'll download the English version instead.
Interesting.
I buy most of my games from Kuala Lumpur.
I will need to look into that. We're going to go for a break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about Sonic. We're going to be talking about The Division, and we're going to be talking about Forza. Patreon.com/videogameschronicle for more podcast videos and ad-free browsing. We'll see you in a minute. And we are back. Next story. Quote, EA is getting more shit than they deserve. Split Fiction director Joseph Fares defends Hazelight's publishing partner. EA has published all 3 of Hazelight's games to date, A Way Out, It Takes Two, and Split Fiction, and Fares is adamant that his studio's relationship with the publisher is a strong one. In an interview with The Games Business, not familiar, Fares was asked about Hazelight's relationship with the publisher, given that the studio has a reputation for being rebellious and EA has a reputation as a large corporation. Fares replied that the partnership continues to work very well in his opinion, and he believes EA gets more criticism than it warrants at times. Quote, there are a lot of great people at EA, he explained. They know how we work, they respect it, and they leave us be. Let's be honest, there's not a publisher in the world that hasn't, and cover your ears here, fucked up now and then. Quote, sometimes I feel that EA is getting more shit than they deserve. I mean, come on, Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony, everybody's done something that's not good, but for some reason, EA has become the bad guy. For us, it's a super good collaboration. I'm very open about it. If it was bad, I would have said that in this interview as well, but we have a great relationship. I'm not saying that they haven't done any mistakes like every other publisher. All the people I'm surrounded with at EA are gamers. They love games. It's not like I'm sitting with corporate people with suits. It's not like that. And people should not worry because Hazelight will always do what it wants. First point, you can absolutely tell that's a Joseph Fares quote because of the way it's translated. It's like transcribed exactly. Yeah. I get his point. Honestly, I think that the EA is the worst company in the world type shit was really stupid the first time around. But Chris, let me tell you, if you are wanting to put out an incendiary bit of chatter, this is the kind of thing you need to say.
I get his point. I think it would have been better received had recent events not occurred. I think if pre-Saudi deal, I think this might have been maybe been received a bit better. But now everyone can just point at that and say, well,
he was saying this from Riyadh season, to be fair. So
that's true. That's true. So yeah, but putting the Saudi deal aside, I do take his point that for a long time EA has been the kind of the villains. When I don't think they've done anything particularly egregious more than other companies. I'm not saying that they've done things by the book and been a shining beacon of all that is good and just, but they're certainly not the only ones that do corporation-y things.
It's all a plague pit kind of thing. Yeah, this was it's an interesting one. I think the Hazelight and EA clearly work well because I saw the other day It Takes Two sold like 27 million copies or something like that. So I can't imagine EA is putting a ton of money into them that they aren't recouping from game sales.
I also imagine they're being very nice to Mr. Fares, and I'm sure they're all lovely people.
Yeah. So yeah, it's an interesting one. Joseph Fares is one of the last people in games that will actually give you an interesting interview.
I mean, EA's reputation is deserved. Probably, but its reputation was earned 20 years ago, right? You know, when it was legitimately voted the worst company in America. EA had a reputation for buying the best studios and then closing them, right? It did that for decades. It was known for, you know, the cynical movie tie-in. It was known for
Project $10 when you had to do the online pass.
But then, really, under Andrew Wilson, like again, within context that they're this big, you know, public company, they haven't been so bad. Like I remember, you know, about 10 years ago, they did a new Mirror's Edge, didn't they? And they did Mass Effect Andromeda. I mean, they didn't turn out great, but he did those things. He changed a lot of the culture there to be a bit more transparent with their community, and like the new Battlefield is a result of that. They've made that game with the community. They were showing, kind of Mass Effect and Mirror's Edge. I remember, I mentioned those because I remember that was the turning point, being in the room. And it's like, wow, you're showing us, pre-production stuff. Like this is not an EA type thing. It's difficult. It's difficult for them to be to win the popularity contest when they're a big public company, right? So I can see his point of view. Probably recently, they but what kind of flack have they been receiving recently? I mean, Battlefield is a huge hit. I mean, did they even release? I mean, FIFA. People have gone off FIFA a little bit, right? But then that's its own thing.
Yeah,
I can't think. I mean, am I being very? Is my memory being very short here?
The only thing was when they recently came out, or I can't remember if they actually came out or if this was reporting, being like they're essentially just focusing now on FIFA, Battlefield, and Skate at the time when it was in development. Like they're not really in the business of spinning up anything new. Hence those Star Wars games getting canned, like when all that stuff happened.
No, but at the same time, I mean, we're seeing companies make layoffs in the tens of thousands. I don't think, from memory again, EA has been particularly bad on that front.
Yeah,
they've comparatively to other companies.
They've certainly been worse in the past. I think that some of the criticisms people level at them now are stuff that you would expect a business to do. Like, a lot of people still complain at how much money Ultimate Team makes, or it makes $1 billion a year, or whatever. And it's like, yeah, in an ideal world, things like Ultimate Team wouldn't exist. But for the sake of their shareholders, do you want them to just stop doing it? Because as long as they're continuing to make that money, they will continue to keep doing it. When people stop doing the Ultimate Team and stop throwing money into it, they will stop doing it. But you can't expect them to say, actually, you're right, we're going to take $1 billion off our income every year because people are a wee bit grumpy about it. It's like that they're doing what they're doing because they're a business, and these companies aren't there to be your friends. And sometimes they'll do nice stuff, because remember, they're every now and then they'll release a load of accessibility patents and let everyone else use them. So they're capable of doing good stuff like that. And they've also got The Sims, which has been going on for a long time, and they've recently come out, Maxis have come out and said, listen, this deal doesn't affect the fact that Sims is one of the most kind of diverse games out there, like for a wide range of people. So hopefully that continues to be the case. We'll see. So there are good things they do as well, but at the end of the day, they're a big corporation, a big company, and they will always, like all the big companies and corporations, do things that people don't like because they make business sense but aren't necessarily popular, I would say.
I don't think they should enjoy a moment of peace for what they did to Skate, but I think we've went over that enough at this point. From one company everyone loves to another, Ubisoft hits The Division and Avatar Studio Massive Entertainment with layoffs. This could result in 55 people losing their job. The proposed restructure affects Massive Malmo in Stockholm and follows the completion of the voluntary leave program launched last year and a finalised long-term roadmap, which Ubisoft says has provided clearer visibility into the structure and capacity required to support the two studios. Massive's ongoing focus will be the Division franchise. The Division 3 was announced in 2023, but nothing from the game has been shown. Julian Geraghty, who you may most recently have heard of because he helmed Star Wars Outlaws, he's back on the Division 3, and it says it will have as big an impact as Division 1. Obviously, thoughts go to the people whose jobs are affected. I thought, it was, Andy, as Division heads, I thought it's interesting how they're doing this Division 3 rollout, like just saying years before they're even showing anything, this is what we're doing, we'll show it when we can. Do you think they will go the same route as Battlefield 6 in terms of super transparency? Because the Division 2, I was playing it this week, still has a really strong community. They're still putting stuff out for it all the time, so you would think they have an audience there for a third one.
Well, the significant point here is that obviously last year they launched the subsidiary Ubisoft with Tencent. So Tencent put a load of money in. Ubisoft were not their share price wasn't doing great for a long time. They've had a turbulent couple of years, mainly because they don't have that big live service game that the others do. So they launched Vantage Studios, it's called, last year with Tencent. I think Tencent have, off memory, 25% of that. But they put a load of money in. They've now got a big chunk of Ubisoft's biggest franchises: Vantage Studios overseas, Rainbow Six, Assassin's Creed, and Far Cry. Right. So they're now completely restructured under this different subsidiary, and they're making these creative houses, and they're trying something different allegedly. So The Division is now notably one of the biggest franchises that's left in vanilla Ubisoft. So you would expect them to go really hard on that new one now, because they need it to be.
Yeah.
Because all of their biggest franchises have now gone off to this other thing. So yeah, I'm not surprised. I would expect you to see them, talking about that earlier than usual. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can't. These games now, I mean, Battlefield is the blueprint, but it has been like that for 10 years. If you're making one of these games, you need to make it with a community. There are very few examples of people just turning up and the game does great, right? I mean, we'll look at Marathon, look at
Concord, God rest it.
There's loads of games like these live. So if you just rock up and you're like, here it is. That's why I'm a little bit concerned for that High Guard as well, which is seemingly just going to rock up in a week or 2 weeks.
I think playing the Division 2 this week, obviously they've done so much that, like, they added a big New York section, like they've added so much to that game. The transitioning the players to the third one will be the difficulty, Chris, because obviously there'll be people that are like, well, I like just playing the Division 2, like the Division 2 is my game, I play with my group of mates and we play the same thing all the time. Are we all going to spend 80 quid to move to this third one? We'll see. I think the game itself is probably going to be excellent, because I think the Division games are massively underrated, but
that's always the problem a lot of these kind of big games have, isn't it? These games that last a long time and have lengthy player bases, there's always that kind of struggle to get them. I remember when the new Diablo came out, I think I checked the stats when I was interviewing Rod Ferguson at the time, and it basically pointed out that I think just as many people were playing the last game still, like 6 months down the line, than were playing the new one. It's like, it's hard to get that when you, especially a game like that, like a live service type game where you have built up so much loot and so much stats and all this kind of stuff. It takes a lot to kind of put a big line through it and go, right, I'm starting from zero again,
and do it in a way that doesn't piss off the people that are the most invested.
Yeah, and that's fine with like a sports game, because it's baked in like an annual thing where you expect it. So an Ultimate Team, it works because this is a season long thing, and it's going to be wiped at the end of the season. But a game like the Division 2, which has been going on for many years, that's a harder pill to take. When it to kind of wipe everything in one go. I mean, personally, I've never played the Division. I haven't played Division 2. I probably won't play Division 3. So the quote that Division 3 will have as big an impact as the Division 1 is correct in terms of me, because it will have zero impact.
Mate, the Division 1, when they first showed that first demo for the Division 1 and the guy was in cover and he walked past a car and he closed the car door and continued in cover, that was next gen to me. When they showed that, I was like, oh, come on now. That was, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that might have been either the same E3 or the E3 after they showed that first Watch Dogs demo, and that was like, okay, now we're in the far-flung future. But
those PS4 games.
Yeah, I was baiting you there. I got you.
Don't. Let's stop.
When was a real conversation? We had a big debate in the VGC Slack the other day. When was, like, just a constructive thing? What was the last game you saw that felt next gen like that?
Oh God.
Mario Kart World.
Mario Kart World. I was like, if this is the next gen, I'm going to kill myself. Next gen like that. A specific feature I can tell you, maybe not as a whole, but when I saw the speed of the fast travel in Demon Souls and how good that looked on that PS5.
I thought you were going to say Ratchet and Clank, and I was about to have a meltdown.
You were proved wrong about that.
I'm not doing that.
When I loaded that, when I saw Demon Souls, I was like, okay, this looks significantly better than a PS4 game, and is loading in a way that a PS4
game
you're
probably right. It'd be the instant loading, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
and I would say Ratchet.
And Spider-Man, obviously, you can fly across the city in like 2 seconds. That's all very impressive. But this is also a combination of when.
But you're right. Like those are the big ones. Like I remember where I was with a lot of those moments. Right. As you say, the Division demo. I was in the press room at E3 filing, and people like were gathering around like the laptop, like, what the hell is this? But it's the same with Watch Dogs, which was unreal. The same with obviously the fake Killzone demo, and Killzone Shadowfall in the PS4 reveal when he's on the dropship and he flies over the city. That was amazing.
The bit where
Metroid running on DS at the time sounds quaint, but when they announced because there's no 3D handheld at that point, we're playing Super Nintendo games. And they're like,
more of a niche one.
Reggie says, here's a Metroid Prime game running on it. It's, oh my God.
You heard the crowd at that point as well. Here's a niche one, because everyone remembers ones like the fake Getaway one when they were doing all the PS2 stuff. And Alfred Molina as Dr. Octopus, and that's not PS2. But the one that kind of not a lot of people talk about, but I remember and ended up being just like that, was when the 360 was coming out, they showed Fight Night. And the bit where the guy gets punched in his face, and his face goes, the face kind of morphs when it gets hit, and the game did actually do that. That was a literal game changer.
I've just remembered one. I saw a behind scenes demo of the first Mass Effect. So that must have been like 06, something like that, 05, 06. And it's in the bar scene I can't even remember the name of the space station. But you're in the bar. No, it wasn't the Citadel. It was like some mining one. He's in like a nightclub, and they're showing us how the conversation system works. He speaks to the barman, and like how you could interrupt him, like shut up and pull your gun out, like, and choose to do that. And it was like, at the time, that was unreal, that you could actually like dynamically affect a conversation.
I remember actually, it's Watch Dogs adjacent. Obviously, the context of the Watch Dogs thing is they showed this demo, and at the time they weren't admitting that it wasn't for like 360 and PS3, which is so funny in retrospect. But when they showed the Watch Dogs Legion stuff, and it was like, you can play as anyone, I was like, oh, that's mental. That's that's something you would come up with when you were 10 years old. Obviously, in practice, it kind of broke the game. But I like stuff like that. I like when people take big swings. But yeah, the speed of loading on like at launch day on PS5 was like and the 5 minutes where people actually used the triggers, I was like, oh, what? And that in Astro's Playroom, when they used the triggers, and you're like, oh, this is crazy. This every game's going to do it. But obviously, we knew like no game would do it because we've been around the block. But yeah, stuff like that. I miss stuff like that. I miss it's fun obviously when we go to SGF and we're watching the shows from the room and we're going, oh, that looks class. But the feeling of watching something like that in a big audience, I think
those days are done. I think those days are done.
We should host big watch parties, get as many people, just do a public viewing on one phone in the middle of the.
But I've said it before. It's just it's diminishing returns. Is that I'm so glad I worked in the era that I did. What I started right at the end of Xbox, PS2, GameCube era. And then I've gone through 360, PS3. I went through Wii and App Store, and up to now. And then as a kid, I got to grow up in the 90s, 80s consoles, right? Because I got to see all of those moments, and I think just the next generation is not really going to get any of them. Like a new console coming out, a new generation, was absolutely mind blowing, and it's just we've kind of like reached the technical plateau. Whereas, like, what else can you actually do? The bottleneck now is not the power in the machine; it's the amount of people and money that you can throw at something.
Throw more money at it. That's what we do.
We could do a screening and get loads of people to come and watch it, but you would need to ban phones.
Yeah,
like I've said this before. If you look at the evolution of the Nintendo world in New York screenings of Nintendo Directs, and it's just you see the descent of man. But as you look through them, you look at the early Wii ones and stuff like that when they first started showing the directs and they first started on the E3 broadcasts, and they streamed them at Nintendo World, and everyone was sitting politely cross-legged and cheering.
That's because Nintendo fans are gimps.
See, if you look at them now, it's just a sea of people standing, pointing the phones at themselves, not even at the screen. And the second
it's become performance now, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And they don't even know what half the stuff is. They'll be like, "Oh, they'll flash up, and it'll be clearly a Fire Emblem game, and nobody will say anything for 10 minutes because they don't know."
Hey, yo, it's fucking Zelda.
And then it'll say Fire Emblem, and everyone will just point the camera at themselves and go, "Oh,
it's fucking Fire Emblem, bro." What you know about Shulk?
Hey, where's Ike? And like, fuck up. So yeah, it's a shame. Culture is dead.
Culture is dead, and we killed it. What isn't dead is the prospects for 2026 Game of the Year, because one of the front runners is coming out in May. Forza Horizon 6's release date has been leaked early by Xbox because they can't do anything right. Seems like it's coming out on May 19th. Shout out Kane, or May 15th if you pay some extra money. This is very short, Chris, but this is exciting. We need to get our gums around this one. We need to get all up in it. I think this will. Do we remember how do you feel about my prediction about how this game opens? Do you still think I'm on to a winner?
What was your prediction again?
The opening race is you racing the Shinkansen.
That's right. Yeah, I would imagine that comes later. They like a wee montage at the start, like the Forza Horizon games. They like to put you in 4 or 5 different cars.
Yeah. That's a good point. Actually, you're like, maybe the Shinkansen's part of it. Then you do a full race later. It's like, hey Jordan, you need to get to the Horizon Festival in Akihabara. The Shinkansen's going to get there fast. You better get there.
It'll be you racing some weebs to some Pokemon card style.
Yeah.
As long as when you're driving around Tokyo, you get to run over people in fake Mario Karts.
Yeah, that would be good.
Driving around the streets, I'd be happy with that.
Or did they put them?
I'm excited.
Did they put them in it? Did they put the carts in it?
No. They can't. It's meant to be respectful of the community, and everyone in Japan, by all accounts, absolutely hates those people. So, I would imagine that the tourist Mario Karts won't be in there.
Yeah.
If you've driven one of those carts through Tokyo, taking selfies in traffic, you're a bad person.
Yeah, you should have put it under a bus. I'm excited about this. So
me too.
I've said like Horizon 5 was it's been the game of the generation last generation.
That's fucking mental. To be fair, that's one of the most mental things anyone's ever said.
What?
Horizon 5 being the game of the generation.
It's one of my games of the generation.
It's in the top 10 easy. It's on the conversation.
Top 10. I'll give you all
like
day
you just
along.
Said Box Boy and Box Girl.
Well,
what game?
But if you said it is one of, I wouldn't even blink. But putting the
but if it's in the conversation, open world racing games, says that they think it's the game of generation, that it's not insane. Like what?
Open world racing
definitely in the conversation.
It's a genre that has a stigma against it. No one will ever. There are certain people who will never accept that an open world racing game is the best game of the year or of the generation just because it's not.
But I'm not one of them. I think Burnout Paradise is one of the best games of all time. I just don't think that Forza Horizon 5 matches that, in my opinion. I think Burnout Paradise is a better game than any Forza Horizon game.
Opinions are lovely things.
Yeah,
I think it's one of the best games this generation.
I'll give you that all the time, but I personally think that
mainly because this generation hasn't been that great yet, as well. Like I wouldn't say that for last generation.
I mean, game of the generation is probably
when you had Odyssey
Ring,
and
right?
stuff.
I think this generation actually has been pretty good. It's just it's been lacking on the first party fronts. The third party stuff has been pretty decent. What was the game of the generation last year? Out of last year,
it's either Breath of the Wild or Odyssey.
Bullshit, Breath of the Wild. It's either Odyssey, The Last of Us Part 2. You've never played it. You've never played it. You can't talk. You've never played it.
I don't care. I've seen enough.
You've never played it. You can't talk about Ellie and Joel.
There's woke pish.
Yeah, exactly. You're just like them.
The point is, Forza Horizon 6 will be the game of the generation.
What generation are we even in? Wasn't Forza Horizon 5 in this generation? So are you saying 6 is going to be better?
This is going to be the new best. This is going to be better than 5.
When we do Game of the Generation, 1 and 2 are going to be Forza Horizon games.
Yep.
Shut this fucking website
down. Forza Horizon 5, number 1. 6, number 2.
Number 2. It'll be either or, depends how this goes. But yeah, no, the point is I'm looking forward to it.
Does it have a cafe? Come on. Proper Game of the Generation has cafes.
As long as it's respectful to the culture and doesn't overdo it. The Mexico one kind of laid it on quite thick. We love driving the Ocho.
Yeah.
So,
I saw on the that leaked image, the release date image. I think what were you talking? I can't remember what pod it was where you said you really hope that they don't bring back the bloody festival.
It had the festival logo, was in it?
Yeah. Great. Welcome to Horizon Festival.
How excited Scullion is.
You have to race through Shibuya.
The good thing about the festival is that it puts all the hipster fannies in one wee bit in the map instead of distributing them across the whole world.
So you can drive your Ferrari for them.
Yeah, I know exactly. They should keep the festival but take the barriers away.
They're going to do a version of the Shibuya Scramble, but it's like burnout crash mode where you have to knock down as many as possible.
I'll tell you what, see if they put the festival in the Shibuya Scramble, that'll be really disappointing.
Oh, in fact, I bet they do, because then you don't have to worry about people crossing the road. You can be like, well, we've actually broken the crossing because it's a festival. Fucking pricks. Game of the generation, my fat hole. From one game of the generation to another, Sega's announced Sonic 35th anniversary plans to, quote, celebrate Sonic's legacy. He would need a legacy first to celebrate it. You two care about this shite. What would they actually have to do for a Sonic 35th that would be meaningful? A new game, a collection of old games? I feel like they've done that a million times. Chris, is Sonic fan number one? Let me know.
A new game, no new music.
Were you happy with the old music?
It can be music of the generation, I'm hearing.
The 16-bit music, I think you'll find, is among the best ever created. We'll not get into that again. But I think everyone's expecting a new game. It's been a while since we've had a proper new. I think Frontiers was the last big one. You had like the kind of side scroller ones as well, but people are waiting to see what the next, because Frontiers is nearly 4 years old now. So it feels like the time they should at the very least be announcing a Frontiers 2 or something of that ilk, like whatever the next 3D Sonic's going to be.
Do you know Sonic's get really good hearing?
Go on.
Because he's got his left ear, his right ear, and his Sonic front ear.
That's co-opting a bloody the
Star Trek joke.
That's scandalous. I say this every time, because every single time we do a podcast or anything, there'll always be one new listener who never knew the Tails miles per hour joke. Mm-hmm. And that's just me throwing it in there just for someone else to have their mind blown, because every day someone learns that for the first time. I
was about to say, if we only get one new listener to this podcast every week, then we're really up shit's creek. But if this is the podcast you chose to listen to of all of them, thank you. Andy, I saw you bemoaning you wanting to play a Sonic game last night. Did you find anything, or is it?
I didn't want to play a Sonic game last night. I just generally, it'd be quite nice to play a good Sonic game, wouldn't it?
It was the first time for everything.
I think this is a new Sega, though. Like, this is a new Sega. I mean, I could see that at TGS spending some time with their, around their top brass and stuff, and all the original creators are still, in the fold, and still, like, you got like Yu Suzuki sat in the corner, and it's very encouraging, like seeing the words come out of their mouth, like hearing some of the things behind the scenes. Like, obviously, they're working on like the classic stuff. Like, they've just done Shinobi, which was like absolutely brilliant. They're doing like Jet Set and Crazy Taxi, and it's like they're doing it properly. They're involving the original creators, and they're taking their time. So, I mean, Frontiers I've still not played Frontiers properly, but it seemed like it was okay. I mean, and that's kind of like what the expectations of Sonic games now, right? That they're all right. Mm-hmm. And what they really need is to take their time and kind of invest in quality. But they are in the habit of kind of putting a different Sonic game out each year. I mean, it's obviously they're all spin-offs and different branches and stuff like that. But it's Sonic's such a weird franchise, because it's absolutely huge. Like, they now make $1 billion a year just from Sonic merchandise. But the game sells sort of like 5 million copies.
It's weird.
There's no like, someone will probably come in the comments, but it's knowledge. There's no 20 million selling Sonic, or 15 million Sonic. Even those are like sort of like bog standard first party PlayStation game numbers. For such a huge franchise, which it is. I mean, it's making $1 billion every year. Every time a film comes out as well, people clearly love Sonic. So why is there no humongous Sonic game that sits on the shelf and goes and goes and goes?
the weird thing is the games aren't very child friendly. Like the whole.
I don't think they know what they want. They don't want to know what they want to be, do they? That's been their problem for ages. I mean, they've split it now into like two columns, where it's like, oh, we make the retro ones and then we make the 3D ones, and it's. It feels such like an inelegant solution. Again, I hate to compare them to Nintendo all the time, but imagine if Nintendo were like, oh yeah, well we can't. It's sort of like. If they did Super Mario 64, which, by the way, is a million times better than any 3D Sonic game ever made by a magnitude of 100, so already a bad comparison. But if they did that and they went, oh, well, because they were in that rut, right? They did Sunshine. Those games kind of sold all right? For them to realise that they were inaccessible and make Galaxy and solve the camera issues, and then 3D World and Odyssey, and it's like a 20-25 million selling game. They were 3D Mario games weren't selling, right?
Yeah, they've made a rod for their own back with the character himself. Because Sonic by his nature is extremely fast and hard to control. That makes the games hard for kids. The kid loves Sonic. She loves the movies. She's got Sonic Shadow the Hedgehog plush that she sleeps with at bed at night every night. She loves Shadow. She cannot play those games. She really wants to play the games and gets really pissed off because there's still, even Sonic and Shadow Generations, which I really like, she really struggles with how to play it, and the camera angles all over the place. And Shadow's got loads of features that you toggle on and off to freeze time and all this kind of shit. And it's like, there is this kind of weird barrier where the character and the movies are now worth more to children and as a franchise than the games themselves. The games almost feel like secondary to the character IP and the movies. The movies have kind of taken over because they're more accessible to a younger audience.
Well, I hope Sonic has a wonderful 5th anniversary.
Bring back Yuji Naka.
But, it's all anecdotal, but you're absolutely right. My kids love all the movies. I don't think they've played for a single Sonic game.
No.
They should just stop making them. Just focus on the movies. It'd be better for everyone involved.
Bring back Yuji Naka. Get Michael Jackson to the music again.
Yeah. Ow! Shamon. Sonic's a weird guy. They should bring back Sonic Spinball Wizard at Alton Towers. They should bring back the Sonic room that you could stay in the Alton Towers Hotel. When you walked in, it was Roger Craig Smith who did the voice at the time going, "Hey, welcome to the Sonic Hotel," and it would have all the noises. It really sounds like a night in hell. You two ever stayed in a themed hotel room? I've never done it, Chris.
Yeah, the theme was erotica. No, I went to we went to the Legoland Windsor once and stayed in the Lego Friends themed room, which is because the kid was into Lego Friends at the time, and it's quite charming, to be fair. And we also went to Thomasland once and stayed in the Thomas the Tank Room.
It's just in a moving train. A big face on it.
It literally had a big face on the side of the wall, like Thomas was there. So that was really good. Unfortunately, Thomasland itself was disappointing because it was actually based on Thomas Gravesen, the former footballer. So all the
don't shout at the shooter, lad! Don't shout at the shooter.
All the rides were lost in her, but luckily she had the Thomas the Tank room to play in.
I feel like I could do a good Thomas Gravesen Halloween costume maybe next year. That's what we do.
You've done it.
Yeah, we do really
shave.
We do really obscure Celtic players. Andy can go as Massimo Donati. You can go as Evander Snow, although that might get us into trouble. Let's wrap it up there. Lots more coming to the website next week. I won't be here next week as I will be at Division 2 World Championships in Kuala Lumpur. And you can expect at least some of the stuff I get up to over there to be on the website and on Patreon next week. So patreon.com/videogameschronicle if you are interested in my exploits in Kuala Lumpur. Andy, something for the weekend? What are you up to this weekend? Are you being abused by football again?
I don't even think about football anymore. Are we playing this weekend?
Let me see. The West Ham.
Yeah, we are. We're playing Spurs this weekend. Yeah.
A free win.
I might watch it. Is it tomorrow? Oh. Listen to the people I sit with don't even go anymore now.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I took my kids last week.
Do you know who you need? Martin O'Neill.
I was going to say, if you stop watching because we're coming for your greatest player of all time, Callum Wilson.
Hall of Famer, Callum Wilson, come up to Scotland, play 30 minutes, get a hamstring injury, never seen again. We've got
Celtic way.
We've got Scottish Cup shite this weekend, Chris, don't we? I'm not. It's just
fucking like Talbot. I believe we've got.
Johnny Kenny still won't score against them, but at least it will probably be quite easy. Shin will get a good run out, hopefully, if he's still even a player, if he's not just been left in like a service station.
I don't know.
Football, man. Football, what a sport, what a country, what a podcast, what a patreon.com/Video Games Chronicle. For more podcasts, videos, and ad-free browsing, remember tomorrow, as we're recording this, is Saturday. That's when VGC's Guide to Japan will be released. Until next week, say goodbye, Chris.
Goodbye, Chris.
Say goodbye, Andy.
Goodbye.
We'll see you later.